And here we are. We're back. Welcome to, what is this? Painting with M. Francis McCarthy Live. You can just call me Mike. Okay, what are we going to do? Oh, can you see it? You can see it. Over here. Another old photo. Actually, this one, I think it was black and white. I made it sepia. Also, I used a, pardon me, gonna have a cup of tea here. Use a very interesting program called Topaz Gigapixel. Topaz, you can advertise on my channel if you want, because your program's incredible. Uses artificial intelligence to resize your image bigger. Yeah. Oh yeah, so now I got a hat on today. No more bald spot for you. It's alright. I don't mind. You know, it's called getting old. If you're not there already, you're on your way. Yeah. In fact, most of you are in your 30s or 40s anyway. So, anyway, welcome. So, let's turn on the light. Here we go. I used to work with two lights. This is actually working out just as well. A super limited palette today, except I want to just stay away from red today. I don't want anything red. This is actually fairly red, and I'll show you something I do to counteract that a little bit. Well, it's an idea I have. I mean, frankly, I haven't done a ton of these limited palette paintings. I did a lot of drawing on you know, those red boards that you saw a couple videos back. I was done the drawing. Well, there's a ton of oil in that Ruby Lev. Hey? Hopefully the shine on that's not too bad for you. Look at that. Goopy. It's alright though. It works good. I like it. I don't even know if I need that much. That's quite a lot. And I should have scooped some off the palette I have in the fridge. That's a good tip for you. You can store your oil paints. Like I use a little metal serving tray. You can serve them right there in the You can store them in the fridge. It keeps them a lot longer. Yeah, it's a tip. Today's tip. We used those brushes yesterday. I'm just gonna reach a little further back. I don't need all these tiny brushes, but give myself a couple. And then I like to rotate things. I haven't used that one for a while. I find I always use the same brushes because I clean them up. Yeah, so this is Robert Simmons. As you can see, there's so worn. If you really keep your brushes clean, like I was showing you, use this stuff. This is Art Spectrum, but any of these brush cleaners are good. You can even use actual soap if you're really impoverished. That stuff works a little better because it's got some oil in it, so after you clean your brush, form it with the soap and put it away. That works even better than my old little crimping method I used to use, which I still have these there, but so far I just switched to soap after I washed it out real well with the mineral spirits, then into the soap, wash it out real well. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna I may have some consumers of antique products come in. You know the deal by now. Now the scene, so yeah, I wanted you to see the scene. This photo actually had, I cropped in on it, and this was actually used Gigapixel to resample. It was tiny. So you're getting some weird edging. It won't matter, it's all grist for the mill, but we're gonna fade these elements back. This is a bit problematic up here. You guys got to watch out. And I'm not saying I'm going to automatically succeed here. We may install some trunks or something here. I can kind of vaguely see something. This mask, we need to make it sort of interesting. I chose to keep the bit of grass on the foreground. Sometimes you can crop into that. There's a lot of different ways to approach things, but I've had issues. What you have here is one tree, and then there's another tree behind it. So we need, that's too weird to try and communicate like that. Also, I'm definitely thinking of stepping this guy back a little bit more than the photo. But anyway, we're going to get some of our archival brand oil. Yeah, I've been using this stuff for years. I like it. Works good. That's just like linseed oil. So if you're a traditional painter, you want to dip your toes in the alkoid fast drying world. Let me take you by the hand. Take you to that promised land. Okay, it's getting about time to zoom in. And we're going to draw with a little brush. Robert Simmons, love you. Love you. Good. You can see this one's not too worn out. It's nicely conditioned by that soap. I really like the Art Spectrum brush and hand cleaner. Non-toxic. Solvent free. We got our oil. We got everything. Let's zoom on in. Now, I didn't frame this shot, so pardon me for a minute. On the wall. And the struggle I always have is getting... I usually would spare you in my old format, all of this bit, and then a lot of times I'll tighten it down. It keeps shifting. The size of this board, by the way, it's 5x7. See what I mean? Just be patient with me. This is live, so I'll just keep talking and keep repeating myself endlessly. You'll love it. Yes, okay. So as always, actually I won't go in as tight, because I noticed in the last one, sometimes I'm doing stuff with the palette, and I know you want to see some of it. You don't need to see all of it, trust me. Just do your own thing with the palette, but, so that's where we're at, yeah? This is the Rublev number 2. Extremely oily lead white, but it's all good. Beautiful paint. This is a cheapy dollar roundy paint, but it's quite nice. And a lot of times you can use the it's a student grade. It's a Georgian brand. I really like it. It works great. Yeah, see, I want to do that because I want it clean. Oh, and I haven't done any black. I definitely want black. Sorry. I like this. I was using the Gamblin. This just works better for me. Gamblin, I won't talk you down because I love you. Just your quick dry black. I don't know if you catch this video. Yeah, you need to look into it. I've been trying to communicate. So we've got some grain here. A bit of haze is from the sanding. Not a problem. This is going to be quite red, and I told you we'd address that, but in 1 minute. So, raw umber. Also Georgian. I'm definitely thinking of trying a tube of Gamblin though, just to see what the difference is. Umber is a fascinating color because it has a lot of transparency to it. It'll go quite transparent, but it's not as red. Okay, its base painting won't be as red as yesterday's. That's not what I want. I want to change it up. Oh, the slide. The slide. That's some gooey paint. Lovely though. Don't knock the lead white till you try it, and then you can tell me you know what you're talking about. Ivory black, quick dry. The reason for that is because the ivory black is notoriously slow dryer. And who needs it? It's a lovely color though, and don't let anyone tell you different. Ivory black is the bomb, and we'll keep our language clean. So we stay on the good side of the filter. Anyway, I'm going to start. We'll start drawing with this. So this will be the darkest bit of it, but we'll get transparency and some values from the different amount of oil. So that's like the middle value. Wipe the brush off, we get a lighter value, and then almost no paint, you get even lighter value. So that's 4 values right there. Anyway, with this kind of scene, you've seen the scene. You know, I can tell you, you can just go back and screenshot it or something if you need to refer to it yourself. at some point. Well, let me just see how we move on down the lane. So not a lot of paint on my brush. I just like to make a few marks to get my bearings. So looking at this scene, it's almost split right down the middle. Now that's a big no-no. I don't care. I don't care. Try and stop me. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it right down the middle, man. Not too dark here. We're just getting our bearings. That's the best place you can get your bearings is, I guess we could call this a horizon. But even if it's not the actual horizon line, say it's one of the straight lines in the scene, I find it's helpful to get our bearings and have that to work off of. And I don't care if this is not exactly like the scene we're painting. You shouldn't care either. So that tree I showed you, is maybe I'll zoom out so you can see a little bit of that. Hold on here. I mean, you guys have all seen me paint close up, so. Yeah. You can let me. We may be interrupted quite a lot. It's all good. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, so. Hello. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pivot off of here. Now the funny thing is like I might choose to start in different spots, different times, different ways. Also, there's a rabbit, so I don't want this nook. I want it on this side of that. So you will always want to intelligently design your picture. Don't just sit there and be a copyist of the photo. Nobody needs that. Maybe you'll be lucky and everything in the photo it was great, but usually it's not the case. Even with a beautiful photo like the one I'm working from. Distant shore. And then got this, it's actually a shadow I'm drawing there. These tree trunks I mentioned earlier. They're not prevalent in the reference, but I feel like we need to have something to support that mass. Okay. So remember I told you also about that big shape? And one thing about it was this kind of comes in here. And we will treat the two trees as one big shape. So notice how I'm changing how I hold the brush. That's one reason I zoomed out a little for you. Yeah. So you can support your arm. Change the angle of your brush. Don't always draw at the same angle. Got a lot of different things you can do. And think of it as drawing. Think of it as just having fun. Most of this is going to get buried. So back into the oil. So you can see, maybe you can see, I don't know if I zoomed out far enough for that. Yeah. I'm taking the glasses off. And then mostly because I want to judge this shape right. I'm going to try and fill all this in. This is a shadow mask from something that we're not seeing, so it's actually that other tree back there, but I don't care about that. We're just looking at big picture. So there's a space here. I'm not entirely sure that's helpful to put in either, but I'm going to wipe the paint off my brush. And you can see it's just plain oil here. Just put it out. Blue tack. Great stuff. I don't know what you call it in the States. I think they have that as a brand too. And I felt like picking up my Q-tip and doing a few Q-tip. I can call it a Q-tip from the U.S. Right now I live in England. No, New Zealand. I do not live in England. I'm going to be taking a trip to England soon now, so that's probably why I got that real brain. I was just talking about showing about the antique stores in England today. Get the oil in the picture too. So this is all just about drawing. I'm not worried about filling that in. I gotta do that with a bigger brush. So this is, I'm gonna think about, this tree isn't anchored here. I'm thinking about bringing something in to anchor it. And also I wanted to make that much wider. So I'm much more interested in shapes. Your painting has to succeed on an abstract level. And this is drawing. It's a type of drawing called mass drawing. I could do this with the side of a piece of pastel if I needed to, or whatever. Yeah, I like that. And then this ridge here. Oh, you know what? I forgot, you guys. So sorry. I was gonna knock this board out of the red zone altogether. Yeah. Do I have too much invested right now to do that? Actually, this looks quite red, and it's the, I'm always saying the raw umber has more of a green quality to it, but you can really see the red right now, so it's a very interesting color. You can do a lot of interesting drawing just with the edge of your brush, especially if you clean them up nice. One of the real advantages to oil priming this would have been I could completely erase something like that. I really don't care. We're just having fun. And I'm seeing these reflections coming down here. I really feel that this needs to come out further. Much as I like it far a bit further back. That's my tree shape. Inspired from the photoplay. Yeah, so to get water, not that I'm an expert, but you can stay away from diagonal any kind of stroke. It's either up and down strokes or sideways strokes, because that's how things look in water. Yeah. Same deal here. This is all going to be in a degree of shadow, but so you can see I have kind of different values just based on the oil of the paint. It's a pigment. And we're kind of getting past the point where I should be using this size brush. Yeah, okay. You get the idea. I think I'll do a bit more of a zoom in now. Let's change it up. Alright. Yeah? Technology is amazing. Our friend, your paper towel. It's not, well, actually, I was checking out that video from yesterday. You're not getting the glare that I see because I'm working at an angle. That is all for you. All for you. Let's see. Time for tea. Okay. I'm gonna just wipe down my palette just a touch, because that's basically one step. Step one. Step two, go back into the oil. You saw the palette. You know what it looks like. Nothing's changing, I promise. And, well, actually, I'll show you. I will show you. We're just going to bear down. New, bigger brush, a little bit of oil, and just a lot of paint. And the thing is, don't get that big. Careful about these big globs of paint here. Also, I was getting ready to wipe that off. Be careful, there's white on that knife. I don't want to contaminate my paint with any white or anything right now. That's for this transparent stage. Everything's going to be, not contaminated with anything opaque, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, I'd like to get dark in the corners and work off from there. And I'm just really putting this paint down right now. Just want to have some spots that are enjoyable color, you are raw umber. I don't know if I like it. I'm going to buy a rocket the window, yeah. Yeah, so remember what I said about water, either vertical. Just don't want it all one block colored, so I'm going to wipe. I'm going to go into the oil. I used to do a lot of when I worked at a this company, we did like lots of framing, but we also did graphics for like hotel lobbies and rooms and things, and I would do paintings. I used to like just doing really big abstract-y landscapes with a paper towel and acrylic. And I get questions about brushwork. With brushwork, it's just, you gotta practice a lot, try a lot of different things. My best advice is just have a playful attitude, try changing up that brush and just see what happens, see what you like. And then the thing is, with the creation process, is always a big time combination between the creative free part of you that wants to experiment and the editor that decides and judges. This is good, this is not. Maybe we'll fill it in. Well, you see, I got a plan though, don't worry. I told you. Here I'm a little lost, but I think we'll just make them both. We got black, don't you worry, we got black. We can always go a bit darker than this, but for now, I don't know if you can see me too clearly, but I have my glasses off, so I'm just seeing big shapes. If you have perfect vision, just squint, okay? Right, so there's a value shift here, and some tree trunks in the reference that are kind of okay in a photo, but need to be modified for a painting. Not a super distinct light direction. I think I will choose to have things lit from this side a little bit. Now you remember how boring I said all that was, and the photo quite boring. So here we do a little random abstract-y strokes just to kind of, I don't know, a lot of times what you're doing, setting up problems, and then you're going to figure out how to fix them. It's a giant mash, but don't worry so much. I start with the brush and the paper towel. I want to link those together. Link this together. Paper towel is helping me do that. Yeah. So you can't be precious about things, especially like at this stage. I told you we're going to lose almost all of this, so you got to go, oh, look at that beautiful stroke I just did. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I don't want to, I'm going to change everything in the painting except that one stroke. And that doesn't work. And actually, remember I talked about knocking this back, I think. Let's start that process now. What you mean having that trunk darker like it just made it? Probably not a good plan. We're gonna flatten things. So a lot of times that's the problem with photos is they don't flatten things. It should be flat. For a painting you want a certain amount of stuff flat. Depending on your style, depending on what you're after. That's not a art festival. Now you remember too we had just one line there, but we might. I can kind of carve things out with my, because that's going to help break up that wall. You only get so many spots on that swamp. That's okay. We have some out here in New Zealand called dollar stores. By folks from Asia. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna think about that. We don't have to make up our mind right now. I do think though that I was thinking about last night. It's like, well, I'm probably gonna run out of stuff to talk about. Not really though, because you know what? If you're a painter, you already know. Every scene brings its fresh challenges, right? We talked about that. There's quite a lot of this in the reference, this kind of thing. And so this whole drawing stage is kind of about playing, thinking about things, sort of mentally solving problems, and then this real limited palette approach, the drawing stage is even more kind of reflecting how the final painting is going to be. And I did one yesterday, I haven't shared with you yet, but I don't know. That's a thin brush, I think. Is it the one we're going with? Or? Not so much oil on that. Good. This is deviating from the reference quite a lot, but again, it's a good reason to having the glasses off. In it. Look, it's already full up, and you'll want to keep using it because you just don't want to reach over and grab a fresh one. Also, you could stick in the oil, but that really doesn't. The best is dry. We're gonna open up a spot here, and so we've got diminishing returns now for that because the paint's hit it, so it doesn't matter. So I try and leave, say a lot of times I would just do the drawing stage. I'm always looking at the shape. Look at the big shapes of your trees. You know, and I can't say I'm always 100% thrilled, but I think it's like I can't escape. Can't escape the way I do trees, so I just embrace it. Remember I told you when I painted all that one color I had a plan? You see the plan? See? That's nice. And if it's like that's too in your face, too distinct, Yeah, just soften it up. Now, in a lot of cases, I would just go in and start rubbing oil there. I don't feel the need right now. I think we're going to go and pause this. When things are in your painting are boring, you don't need to change everything so it's exciting, stimulating, but you don't want to have too much boring, otherwise the overall effect will add up to boring. So areas like that or whatever, it creates some interest. And also it's like I'm pulling diagonals there where in the reference things are following the shoreline, which isn't sexy. Maybe we could even do some counter things like this. Well, not my usual thing, but hey, it doesn't really matter because we're going to keep going. Yeah. Alright, so I'll pause the video there. Could be just joshing again. Make sure it's clear. Yep. I'm liking that. Okay, we'll pause it. And we're back. Yeah, and I wanted to come in zoomed out a bit. I don't like to move the camera, sorry. That would be real clever, but it's a hassle. So, but you can see this, and actually in the high, I take the time to let this up high def, so let's see how much of it can you see. Quite a lot, so let me make it bigger. How's that? Oh yeah? Okay, I know it's at an angle for you, but alright, let's talk about things that I changed, and I'm not saying I'm the man with the brilliant solutions or whatever, and I did not like that choice to try that other direction, so whatever. That's the great thing about the drawing stage here, right? Now I had some interruptions. I made a cup of tea. That's a great thing. Don't knock those interruptions, because you come back, you'll see things. Okay, so I united these to a large degree. There will be a distinction between them, but also you can see I have a more interesting shape here than this round shape. Kiss of Death is what I call this crescent shape here. Kiss of Death. Something like that might have even kept me from doing it, but fortunately that's why I keep talking about experience and getting experience, because you could watch me paint all day, but it won't translate into you knowing what's going to work for you and what's not going to work. So I don't need to get per sticky with this, because this is all going to change. Anyway, I haven't messed much with the water because a lot of that's going to be happening with the paint. You maybe notice here that this bites in way all the way there. I am keeping in mind that the frame's going to come in and that's going to feel better not going off. You know, I've been tempted to, I might even bring an element. See, look, that's all full up. Done. Funny how, might bring an element like this though. See what I mean? Just to kind of get us some of the benefits of that, right? That's an idea. So ideas will come to you, right? Take advantage of that if you have them. If you don't, just paint anyway. Just keep painting and you'll solve the problem. Like 90%, like people wait for inspiration to come, and it ain't coming. So what else did I change? Oh, all of this in here is a bunch of tweaky stuff. I really like this highlight there, though. I probably will bring it in. That's a lot of times. There's all sorts of funky stuff that goes on with nature. Like I kept trying to erase there, but just want to get the idea across. This is water, right? You can see how those, when I do that sort of thing, it definitely reads as water. Windy today. Right, so Next. Simplify. There's a bunch of other little stuff back here, but I'm not too worried about it. I think someone's coming in the shop. It's all good. Maybe not. So this is Saturday in New Zealand. Most businesses are only open till, well, I say most native businesses are only open till, by native I mean people that are from here, live here. Close at 2, always on Saturday, but corporate stuff's open. I'm open too because you don't need antiques. Who needs them? So if you have a passion for them, you're probably going to be pursuing it on your day off, I reckon. I like the way this is feeling. So you can see the changes I've made. I could get real tweaky with a bunch of other stuff. I like how this has this bit of whatever going on there. In fact, I'm seeing some things now that I'm getting used to looking at this image. So with your swab, a lot of times take that, there's those little hairs, you take it and give them a little twirl. Also, ones that are too fluffy don't work. You want the ones that aren't that great in your ears. So when things, that's the other thing, when things occur to you, go ahead and do it. Like, I'm like, I really like these grasses, and more importantly than anything, I just like this. I see there's a bit of ground. Got a kind of a little hide and seek there, but just something going on there. We can get tweaky for days. We're getting ready to do some else though. We just jump into some color. Hey, you wanna? No, I don't want to do this all day. I want to go home. Relax. Yeah, so once an area is stained, it's pretty much stained. You can, rub with this a lot, but it is what it is. Like that. Feel like. I have my glasses on, but I'm seeing some things. Just to kind of get the on-water thing across. So we're ready to go into some color. We're going to just do a little bit of palette maintenance. What I think I'll do is zoom in. You know the colors I'm working with. Right now, it's only been one raw umber. Beautiful color. Very beautiful. I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, I'm trying to give you a variety. See, that's why I don't move the camera, because I'm ready to zoom in. Looks good. Looks nice in the camera. And I hope you're enjoying it. So, I won't make it too tight so you see some of that palette. When I lift up the palette. Yellow. Ochre. Now, I don't want to just go straight yellow ochre. I'm going to, I've used up all the oil I've poured. Okay, now I don't want to sing along because, man, I don't need to freaking pay Buddy Holly's estate. Oh, but you don't really hear much. You hear me pretty clear, and you hear the traffic very clear, I know. So, let's talk. That's my same brush. I haven't even cleaned it, but I'm just going to bring ochre in. I want a few, the sky in the reference is pretty much like almost flat, which is very subtle variance of color. You can see now what I mean, how this has no red quality at all now. whatever bit of red feeling it had is gone. So up in the sky, I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. Like that. What a pretty color. See, now you see what I mean. He's stuck in green, man. I ain't never done anything with green. And I really should have rubbed down this whole board with raw umber. I really should have prepped this board. I really should have some prep with raw umber, but we'll see. It's okay. We'll make it work. Oh, this is pretty. I like this. Now, I like to have areas as I come into my... Don't worry, the frame rabbit's going to cover those chips. I didn't want to throw this board away. I didn't want to paint on the coat. So, back into the ochre. Back into the ochre. There we go. We're not going full ochre. We're holding that in reserve. Because we know we have white, but you never know. You might be able to do this painting with no white. Sorry, the table is moving. Nice to work on this smooth board after all those years. Now textured, very soft effects. I'm going to keep this in reserve. Yellow ochre is made out of dirt, man. It's just dirt, man. So I overlap what I have, but keep what I have. Remember yesterday I was telling you how it's all about, I want to keep that good thing I had. So in my brush, it's all this, look, all this stuff I don't want now. I want it clean, so I'm going to wipe it off. Back into the oil. Back in the ochre. This ochre has been contaminated with raw umber though, so it's not pure. Keeping that in reserve. So I like to do my drawing stage, and then I like to come in and you see, I notice every now and again I'll just barehanded. But as I progress along, my ochre is becoming more and more pure. I don't like strong tree shapes coming all the way into my trees, and I need to avoid creating halos as well. So it needs to be a good note compromises. Okay, here we go. I'm almost into pure ochre now, pretty much pure. There is some contamination in the brush. I need this bulb there. I kind of was liking it, but I changed my mind because I want to keep that good thing we had, baby, but I want something new too. Just enjoying that ochre. So nice. We'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Go into the white or the black. Because that's now. Oh, by the way, so yesterday we were using the Old Holland. Today, Gala Rowney. Good stuff. No problem. Much lighter than the ochre yesterday was much richer for that little landscape we did, 4x6. If you didn't see it, go check it out. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, why don't you why don't you comment too? I like the comments because it lets me know somebody's out there. I feel like I'm talking to myself. It could just be robots watching. That's why robots can click, I like this. Yeah. Actually, robots can comment too. Okay, just keeping that nice thing we had, but changing it too. That's the story. That's the story. Now make sure your little tree holes. See, this color is too bright. You always knock things down a notch in your tree holes. That's definitely, we could spot you if you're an amateur even if you're a talented amateur, because we can tell your tree holes are too bright. I was lucky I had a teacher, old Bob Rome. I mentioned him yesterday. I'll mention him every day because his book, The Painterly Approach, just go buy it. You get it on Amazon, still for sale. That's a classic. I don't know how he's doing it. I love his work. I don't know the man, but okay. So in the water, remember, we're not going to go as bright. Now we might go into white. I'm reserving it. You know, this two here, it's like I'm sort of setting a stage because we're going to come over the top of these areas. So I want a little bit of overlap now. I don't want to. Always be thinking about your edges. Always be thinking about your overlaps. Bit of overlap. Mostly I'm thinking of here. What was nice about yesterday is we had the burr number, which when it hits the ochre goes more red. This raw umber, when it hits the ochre, goes more greeny. So it's time to just go with some of these metally colors. So none of this was contaminated with the ochre. The ochre is going to add an opacity, a shift in tone. I'm going painting very lightly right now. I just want that kind of change that middle tone, change the conversation. And here. You know, I really want you to notice this because look, let's put this up so you can see. So, like all this was done with over the red, tinted board, granted, but it was just straight me bearing down. You saw how much paint I piled on there, but watch how the color has shifted. Even if I have an immense amount of this raw umber, once it hits that yellow ochre and the opacity of it, it has a completely different nature. Fascinating. Utterly fascinating. Let us have a big dot. We got another. I don't know how long it's going to take to make this. You might get bored. Gosh knows so many things calling on our attention now. But I'm there for you if you like watching painting. I would have loved something like this when I was a kid. Speaking of my nephew Cyrus, if you're out there, hey man, I know he watches my channel. He's a bright young fellow. Yeah, so now I don't want too much. I was tempted to go up in here, but I'm going to keep that clean because we're going to switch up brushes. So right now, this is all kind of a reflection of what's happening in the sky with the water. So in my mind, this is all yellow ochre and raw umber, which have a certain characteristic. In here, it'll be black and raw umber with a brush. It hasn't been contaminated with any yellow. That's the plan. Let's see if it's a good plan. Contaminated with a negative. It's been contaminated. And right now, sometimes it's just filling in space, so you don't have to worry about delineating every little thing. Like right now, I'm just looking for something that's kind of going to be kind of underneath other things. So I'm keeping some good things, getting rid of some other things. And I don't want to leave just that red coming up. It's very red. Okay, over here. I sure looked at, wow, this, look at this Yankee. She's got like a finger all covered in paint. very soft. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that though. So yeah, and I was tempted to just go in the ochre and then I have to show you what I was up to. So no, we can't do that. I don't want that as bright, but I want definitely the ochre contaminating the umber instead of the other way around. Because, remember, I told you. You forgot, didn't you? Sorry. Painted a while, and then walk by your paintings and you'll figure it out after a while. It's like, geez, I know what's wrong with that now. So what did I tell you? What I told you was, see, I'm pedantic. It's so lucky you can turn me off if you need to. Anyway, what I told you was the colors in the water are always a little darker. So say you're painting a brilliant sunset reflected in the water. If you were to just paint what was in your reference, you'd paint it right, because it's always a little bit darker in the water, in the reflection. Darker, and I think a little less saturated, a little less color. I want this. Okay. And you know, this is oil paint, so remember I keep telling you, just have fun. I used to have a boss, gosh, before he'd go out golfing, because he was getting rich off my art. Hey boss, how you doing? No problem. He gave me a nice living. So. But before he would go off golfing, he would leave me with some trying impossible task, and he always had the sage advice of have fun with it. Okay, so you can see what I was talking about here. It's like, I'm going to create, like, we don't know what's going on back there, so I'm going to create something. I don't want it a big straight line now, or we're just setting the stage right now too, by the way. And keep in mind, we're kind of setting the tone away from that green. We can come in and make things stronger if we need to. Like that. And into the pure ochre. So everything we've done so far is two colors, and of course the third color is it's transparency on the board, right? So interesting, isn't it? And the photo I'm using as reference was originally black and white, but I think that's probably not, oh, you know what, since we know we got this here is the same color, and I'm really inclined to make that quite bright. So I'm just gonna go in. I really have to say I love the way the ochre has this very subtle kind of grainy quality. Like you can kind of feel the clay in it. And I know when you have straight lines, make sure you don't have things too clean. When you're doing that, what I call long parallel strokes, you definitely want to break up those edges, either by, so you're using the tiniest bits of that brush. You can make the noise if you want. I'm thinking of that. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look in it. All right. So the question now is where that's another brilliant breaking point, right? We have decisions to actually. This is the beauty part of painting. If you haven't noticed, if you're a painter, which you why else would you endlessly watch? I don't know if you're endlessly watching. I'll amend all that. Why else would you watch somebody paint? Unless you were a painter, unless you're just a sensible, maybe you're an art collector, even better. Anyway, assuming you're a painter, you always stop and evaluate. You always stop and evaluate, you know. This is very quite pretty, even the way it is. Even with the red offset against the green, right? It's almost a complementary, so complementary. Yeah, but so our reference black and white, you saw, I gave it a bit of a sepia tint, and it wasn't just push button either, let me tell you. But, doesn't matter. So grist for the mill. Grist for the mill. I like that bright in the distance. If I do decide to go with the white, oh, now one other thing while I'm thinking about it. Noise. I'm not gonna get too treaky. Treaky. You know I meant tweaky. Don't get me hard to. There's me. I'm not gonna get too tweaky with the water reflections right now. You really could just redo. What'll happen is you'll do something cool and then you do something not so cool, and then you mess it up, and then you'll save it. I don't want to do all that, so I'm going to kind of creep up on it. That makes sense. Like, so when you're painting, you have moments where you have greater and lesser amounts of clarity. Like in your whole day-to-day existence is like that, actually. I'm doing all this painting, by the way, with my glasses off, so if you have really good vision, there's something. Hello, how you doing? If you have really good vision, squint. Okay. Paint here. I'm seeing a lot of these strokes, but it doesn't really matter. Sometimes the best way to do that's one thing. I want that kind of flat there. And to be honest, I also so you think what I have in my mind is, oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Do we do the darkest bits now and come in? Or do the next middle bit and go out? Decisions. Feeling like middle bit. So that's what I was saying. If you're an artist, making decisions all the time. Creative decisions. So we're going to go to the tree there, and what I mostly just even want to flatten it into a value kind of like that. So going here, starting with that, bringing in some of this ochre. No, missing a lot of the palette in this one, but I want to get the right value. Just wiped off some excess. Mark, too light. It's got to be contrasted with the sky. Sometimes you might end up doing full umber. But trust me, there's contaminants in your brush. See how we're biting into the outside paint? But we're not blending. Bite, don't blend. This is not to say we can't come in and do more with this tree, which is kind of getting filled in. I don't want that further, even further back. I do want the trunk. This is just ochre, so don't panic. ochre. I said that in a video yesterday. I say ochre when I mean umber. It's just umber. Remember what I said, I want this flat, modulated a little. Yeah, so shopkeeping 101, make eye contact. And get on with your life. If they want something, they'll let you know. Okay. Brush with ochre. That's right. I want to do tea. And oh yeah, so those voices. In my head, it told me to switch my brush up a little smaller for that back because. Yeah. And we're back. Yeah, the bell rings. Well, the bell doesn't ring, the virtual bell. So, yeah, I like to come back zoomed out so you can see where we're at. I knew it was a decent breaking point. That's cool. We were starting to work into that and thinking definitely going to go into the blacks. So, just so you know, because the black actually will help pull us out of this red zone as well. So, because you mix black and this ochre, you get just green straight up. And not that we're going to mix it with the ochre, we're going to mix it with the umber. Oh, you can see everything, yeah? I guess we'll paint like this for a minute. You know what it looks like close up, so I don't want it that dark. Wiping off that excess paint. I want this somewhat distinct from the sky, but lighter than that. So you're like, oh, well, what? 2 colors? Well, 2 colors, you can do a lot with 2 colors. Heck, you can do a lot with 1 color, and whatever your color of your ground you're painting on is. Well, it's good to have things a little lighter at the edge. Without halos. Don't make halos. Oh yeah, I started with a bigger brush, didn't I? That's alright, I got a decent edge on this brush, so. Now, you might be tempted to do something like this with that little T-square. Don't do it. And again, we want to bite in. We'll probably need to restate the this won't be vague. It's okay. It's okay if things are vague. Remember? I said that the other day. Maybe it was yesterday. You'll hear me repeat myself so much that you'll go, oh my god, not another video from this man. Nice. I want to merge these together a little bit. I like bringing things together. Bring things together as much as you can. Ochre. Somehow I moved into just straight up ochre here, but I definitely don't want this as dark as I'm thinking that should be. Remember how I installed this little bit of thing, whatever, too. That's cool. And I think for now, so you want to zoom in now? Yeah, well, you can't tell me yes or no, but let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, the taste, yeah, the flavor. Where we were, we'll zoom back in. I'll keep it a little out though, so if I lift up that palette. So, right now, all my is just 100% raw umber. Quite heavy and thick. Just like when I put it on before, except there's some contamination in the brush from degradation. Well, you know, it looked like I had a big glop of raw umber on that palette, but it looks like I'm going to have to put some more. Now you don't want, when you do these parallel strokes, you don't want those razor sharp edges that look too tight. You don't want that. So you gotta creep up on things, move things up, create problems and fix them. That's the best way to emulate innate nature. I'm not that worried about this right now. So we just kind of naturally work our way down. These strokes, don't worry about that. There's nothing right on there for the fresh cooking. I just want enough paint on there that building up some opacity. Most of the opacity is coming from the ochre element. I'm liking this whole thing's going green. Now, by the way, I mean, say you said, oh geez, I wish I'd done it redder. You can always give it a pass with like a transparent earth red glaze, or you know, also known as Winsor Newton's burnt sienna. So that won't be. This is one of the reasons why I decided I knew I needed black, because my darkest dark is that straight up umber now. Nothing else in my brush. It's right there. That is subtly darker. I think I'm going to use this to bind in here. I want this area. Time for the paint. That's what we're using. What a giant jumbo tubes of this stuff. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the raw umberness of it all. So when I squish the brush down like that, get more paint out of it. There's paint hidden in your brush. Okay, yeah. So you've already liked the video. Right? Yeah, good. What about sharing it to social media saying, wow, look at this guy. Holy cow. This is so much better than watching another episode of Friends. Yeah, I saw someone come into the store. It was a ghost. So heavier paint, you start thin, you go heavier. I don't recommend starting heavy and then going thin. And we're exploring values really too. Like we have everything we painted, I have not introduced anything with two colors. I could actually finish this painting without going into black. But I think that extra dimension of black is going to improve it, not going to hurt it. So I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to leave some of this paint on here right now. I don't love the way it feels too thick. But alright, so back into the oil. Now, again, remember I was telling you the other day, and I won't be telling you endlessly, I want to stay away from that yellow. I don't want anywhere near that. As a matter of fact, get away from me. You go over there. I don't need to know. If I do, I'll leave you over here. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'm so worried about contamination. I'm going to over there. So we start with the raw and we bring in the black. Whereas if you'd have a huge pile of too much stuff you couldn't use if you started with the black and brought in the umber. I'm telling you that's important. Now, because that's creating color, it's dark, but you can see it's not as dark as the black. I really don't feel it necessarily going this dark. Again, I like darker in the corners working in. Now there's a million leaves in my reference, I can see them. I don't care. I'm not a leaf painter, I'm a tree painter. I'm not even a tree painter, I'm a tree shape painter. I'm trying to take those glasses off because and also trying to change direction with the brush. Don't be a robot. Don't always just hold your brush one way. You can see why I'm going with the black now, because it's adding a whole other dimension. Remember, you want to keep that good thing you had. You want something new too. And what's going to happen, and why I keep saying over and over and over again, you got to do a lot of paintings. It's because you won't gain that sense of when to stop and start without having the experience. It's impossible. You could watch me until you're blue in the face. You could say, oh my God, he's just giving us all his secrets. Oh my God, we are gonna kill it. No, you're not. You ain't gonna kill it. You're gonna kill. You know when you're gonna kill it? After you've done several hundred paintings, you start killing it. So the plan here. Heck if I know. Yeah, so I'm working off the edge now with some of that just straight up bumper. Just gonna get rid of some extra paint on my handy dandy. You see it in the zoom out. It's the old phone directory. Vague in the reference. You don't need to sit there and figure out everything. Just make it vague in your painting, eh? Problem solved. We are gonna, what I've decided to do is kind of throw in a few trunks. So, we're gonna go over that with a paper towel. Don't worry so much. Jeez. Gosh, just relax. A little darker on the bottom there. Because there's a lot of paint, I had to really load it up with the black. But I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like that. And see, if we hadn't gone with the black, we wouldn't be able to go in and like add another bit of depth to this, right? So that was a good call. That's added a lot, and I'm not afraid to put it on pretty good. And this is definitely good that it's alkoyd black with alkoyd medium. It'll dry pretty quick now. And you could grow old waiting for that black to dry. Here. Alright, so what I don't like is that everything's so strokey right now. And I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to put my glasses back on. I'm going to have a sip of tea here. Kind of evaluate this. Oh yeah, where are we? Where are those breaking points again, yeah? Find a nice spot on that paper towel. Paper towel could give me some organic variants that would be responsible with the brush, and then of course I could get paint on myself there again. And then, you know, we're gonna, well, I think I'm right just in that. We're gonna reinforce it with the brush. What we like. So you want the appearance of foliage in a natural way. I like it. Yeah, and I went a little nuts with the thickness of the paint, but hey. So I will wipe this up again. And with the brush sort of perpendicular, I might just address some of the peaks that are glaring at me. You may not even be seeing them. Your angle's different. I'm painting at a pretty steep angle. Like I told you the other day, I'm used to it. I've been doing it for you for all these years, and now just more sacrifice. All for you. Ah, speaking of sacrifice. You like this? You know I have a store on my website. I sell my stuff really affordably right now. My plan is to just sell everything I have and then to jack up my prices sky high so that you'll be one of those people say, yeah, I bought him when he was selling this stuff for, X. Now it's Y, and there's a waiting list. So you want to get it on the ground floor, I think. That's my advice. And as I mentioned yesterday, you might be a painter. You're like, oh, I got paintings. And the last thing I need is more paintings. I got all my paintings up. You don't want to just look at only your painting. Give me a break. Come on. Have something, cool and affordable. So I've been thinking about this here. And I remember the other day, it may have been this painting where I said, don't get out that T-square. Yeah, well, watch me contradict myself. Get used to it. When that T-square hits that black over there, it's going to... I gotta make sure to wipe it off, but I just want to have control. So the edge of this is quite flat. I just want to make a mark. See? Good idea? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if it was a good idea. Now I'm looking for a Q-tip, so maybe not. I mean a swab. So maybe it wasn't. But really what I'm looking for the swab for is because there's a bit of a height on the paint there. I just want a little variance there. Tree branches. Now in the reference, there are no tree branches. We all know trees have branches though. So perfectly fine to have a few. Don't get nuts. Don't get carried away. Just calm down. So by biting away from the paint and deleting that trunk. That's all done. Just throw it away. Need a swab. Now, I really do like the textures here. Some areas are very chunky. So sometimes you gotta slow down. Yeah, like I said the other day, you gotta do some paint restoration before the painting's even, while the painting's still new. You liking it? You're liking it. There you go. Alright, so we're not that far off. We got some odd areas. Actually, I've done all this with 2 brushes. I think I might have got a little paint on one of these other brushes, but so what area? That area. What the heck? You need to make your decision. I'm going to just try a bit of this right now. Mostly it's just eye-catching because I hadn't made up my mind what the heck I was going to do there, so it's just the same color as the background, but it's time to actually plug up some of those. Yeah. Nice. Okay, remember I was saying, oh, we can tweak that endlessly. We'll kind of set up something though, and then what we have is actually looking pretty good. This is a little, the word I like to use is pitchy. What does that mean? I don't know. Yeah, okay. I put the white on the pellet. I don't want to use it. I ain't gonna use it, even though it dripped all over everything. Alright, so what am I doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, well, this has all been 2 colors. Oh, 3, sorry. Black. So, glasses off. And the thing you do here is to kind of yeah, so pay attention. What is this reflecting here? Well, it doesn't seem like there's much, so you gotta keep it straight. But you don't need to get all nuts about matching your reflections up exactly with your thing that's being reflected. That is a myth. I don't know who's propagating that myth, but I'm just telling you, you don't need to worry about it. It's a non-issue. I keep doing this over and over and hoping it's going to work for me. Maybe it will now. So that's right, you can see I've been doing that from the drawing stage, just getting to be a while back now. I'm going to put this in, I don't understand what I was thinking. I know what I was wanting to do, but the fact of the matter is that's such a tiny area. Yeah, so why am I not going into the white? Well, I'm just kind of enjoying the way the ochre looks. I just want to feature the ochre. It's like if you have a meal, you know, it's like a few simple things instead of a lot of complex things. It's like I have 14 colors in my palette, usually, not today, but what's going on there? Don't know. I got a clean brush though. That other little brush was contaminated, so. Again, I'm not painting these. I'm just keeping that good thing I got. I'm just fixing it a little. So how do you do that? Well, you just don't get too busy. So we drew some trunks in, but we can reinforce those. Just with a little dark underneath. Doesn't just look like we scratched them out then. Also, not a bad idea to break them up a little, so these would be coming in and over. Just the impression of things is what you want. I know the impressions. You guys have heard me burble about that. I know the Impressionists have grabbed the term Impressionism, and we're not doing Impressionism here. This is nice. It's a little busy. I like. So sometimes you might set the stage with my swab. I don't want that completely boring. You see what I'm doing. No, don't do too much of it. That's the other reason. I'm always telling you need experience, because you get onto a good thing, you do too much of a good thing. So with experience, you'll know, nah, I've overdone that before. Like I mentioned that about dry brushing lots of times. This is sort of weird here. But in a sense, it could be little bits of some kind of relief. You could say, why didn't you just paint that in? Well, I'm working around it. I don't want to introduce any of that opaque element there. This. I think I'm done. Usually when they say that, there's another 10 or 15 minutes, but it's alright. It's okay. Now, I am liking this, but I feel like this is all very busy, so sometimes, not all the time. I'll show you what I do. No, I do this very rarely, but when I have a bunch of really thick paint, it's real clumpy, and I feel like it's too, be careful though, you don't smear what you've done. Just plop it down. Okay. I then felt there was too much paint there for me to I do like the texture. I do like the feeling. Now, and so remember, you say, I don't want to lose that good thing I had, but I want that new thing. What happens most of the time in the real world with that? It's like, well, you end up losing that good thing you had. So, you should have strategies for getting something new going on. Like, this is what just happened there. We had something cool, but I felt it was too thick, too gloppy, and that I could just keep putting new paint on top of it, but I was going to get diminishing returns, so I'm actually pretty happy with this direction. I just took all the extra paint off that piece of paper. I've got some progression here, and I'm working on not overworking it. Also, we lost some of our trunks and things. I don't care. I kind of see some places where I had them. Like it. And it's just going to create your wet, heavy strokes with. Also, we had a lot of like swab action down here, and I'll break that up. Just vagify a little. That's just a big shape, but it's more interesting than this crescent thing I was talking about. I think we'll leave it there. Now, I mean, you never know. I could, the one we did yesterday, I've just sold that, so I won't be going into doing anything more to it, which is fine. I was pretty happy with the way it is, just like I am right now with this, but Should I look at this for a while and decide that I want to do more to it, I will. I will. Just want some ghosts. Interesting ghosts. I'm not afraid of no ghosts. Okay. Yeah, like remember I said it was done? Yeah, I'm done. I really am. I'm just, it's a process, man. Get off me. Okay. Yep. Done. Do some of this with my palette knife as well, but don't get too smoothie, don't get too carried away, just chill. Subtle. So what am I doing right now? Well, like little tight little pockets of high lightness or darkness catch your eye, so we don't need that at this point. That's all I'm doing. I want to keep the good thing I had, but I just want to fix it. It's like I love you, honey, I love you, but I gotta fix you. Kind of like this here, just the way it is, but it's a little harsh. So just break it up. Yep. Don't try for perfection. It isn't possible. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I can speak from experience. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed that. I know I did. And okay, let's do our ending preamble here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, let's zoom out. Oh, yeah, you've seen a lot of light hit that. Is that better for you or worse for you? I don't know. You turn it on. Wow, it's amazing how this camera adjusts for things. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, even worse. See? Even worse. Oh my god. I ain't better off for that. But anyway, so I'll probably give that a bit of a scrape down before running any liquid over it. Thank you for joining me today. That's pretty cool. I always want to keep those. It's a bit like a monotype. Anyway, I'll be back soon with another video. Go to my site, go to my store, go to my blog. Hey, follow me on Instagram. Why not? It's at Tonalist Painter. I'm putting up a painting a day there now. Sometimes old things, sometimes new things. It's not hard. Well, I did make it hard. I'm not making it really hard. Just put pictures up. Yeah, and my website, I have a store. Got paintings for sale in the store. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see you real soon with another video. I don't even know. Probably won't get any more painting done today. So it's like 3:30. Time to kind of close up the shop, go home again. And the next 2 days I have off, so I won't be painting. But I do have an extra one in the can that I'm gonna throw your way. So hopefully we're gonna get you addicted. You're gonna have a painting addiction. I gotta watch him paint. It's a tree. Yeah. Right. Take good care. Take good care. Stay out of trouble.